Cason, you feel like you know, a normal night for you is 2 steals, and then you have these nights that are like 5 or 4, or something like that. Is there something different about those nights that you feel like is like a trend or a tangible thing, or it just so happens that some nights are a little bit more um, explosive on that end?
Sometimes it's just more feel for the game. I'm into it more, but I'm trying to get to a point where every game is a 5 steal, 4 or 5 steal game. So just trying to get that mindset, before the game every night.
You had a play in Utah. You look like Spider-Man out there. I mean, you like jumped up in the middle of the floor. You're almost at half court. Like, is that just all instinct? Are you reading a play that you know is coming there? What's happening?
Sometimes a player use their eyes to determine where they're going to throw the ball, and sometimes I can just pick up on it and try to deflect it or whatever. So some is feel and some is just reading the game.
Depending on how the season's played out, AJ has started games, closed out games, come off the bench, ran the second unit, running alongside a guy like Dub. Just he kind of speaks to just his ability to be plugged into whatever group it is and seem to thrive.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great player, and he can be put in any situation. He's ready for all the moments, and whenever he's on the court, we know he's gonna make good plays.
What sort of change does it have on the defense when Shea is hitting his threes at the rate that he is this season?
One time.
When Shea's hitting his threes at the rate that he is this season, just how much does that affect the way that defenses have to handle him?
Uh, I would assume they would guard him with more pressure and be up on the screens more, and he makes the reads out of those.
I think the last game was the first time you came off the bench this season. What are just some of the adjustments to just kind of doing that?
You got to be able to come in a game and make an impact early, right when you get on the court. Usually the guys out there are already going, and you don't want it to be a drop-off when you get in. So, just come in and make impactful plays off of it.
One guy who's been pretty impactful off the bench this season is AC. And just after playing with him for a couple of years, what have you noticed just about his IQ and his ability to just impact defensively the way that he does?
Very smart. He sees what's going on, and he's very vocal to teammates and himself. So him being on the court and, like I said, being able to make an impact right when he comes into the game, coming off the bench, that's very special.
What makes him, obviously at his size, be able to match up against a guy like Wembanyama, who's obviously got so much size over he does?
A lot of heart. He plays with a lot of heart and grit. And, whenever he's out there, no matter who he's guarding, he's going to try to make their life difficult. So we know that about him, so we have confidence with him guarding anybody.
What do you think of his dunk down the stretch? I know you guys give thumbs up, thumbs down on the bench. Is that a thumbs up?
That was a thumbs up, because that's an old man right there getting up off the ground. He flushed it. I was proud of him.
I think starting like Thursday and Friday, you've got 3 back-to-backs in a 12-day span. But I think this season you guys have played 15, 16 guys they've gotten serious minutes. Do you have any sort of feeling about going into a stretch like that, but knowing that you've got such quality depth?
Yeah, I mean, we know whoever's going to be out there, he's going to give us good minutes, and no matter how long we're on the floor, we're going to give it our all. So it's more on coach with our minutes, but we're going to go out there and play every game hard as we can.
I know you've been doing this here at this level for a long time now, but how long do you feel like it maybe took you to get used to like an NBA back-to-back, having to play 30, 35 minutes in an NBA game on back-to-back nights?
It definitely takes time to get used to, but at this point it feels like every day we're playing. Every day is a game day or a practice day, so yeah, it's hard to get used to, but your body kind of gets in a rhythm of thinking that it's game day.
So rare, almost feels like coming out of the All-Star break to some degree to have this much time in a lead up to games. Do you enjoy this? What do you think about having this many days to get some work in and get prepared for your next set of games?
We don't have a lot of control over it, so just trying to make the most of the situation. But we got a good little burn today, which was good. It's good to get some bump and a full practice. We don't get many of those opportunities, and we took as much advantage of it as we can.
I know you try to just take one game at a time, but I think you do have 3 back-to-backs here in the next 12 days. How does that, if at all, factor into maybe how you approach these games coming up, heading into the holidays?
We're always aware of the context of the schedule with decisions we make, so this will be no different. When we're in a condensed schedule, we try to be wise within that, while also competing in the games, and so same is true when the schedule's lighter, and so we'll adapt accordingly.
Do you feel prepared for all of this, just given the fact that so many guys have played extended minutes for you? I mean, I think probably 16 different guys basically to this point have played significant minutes for you at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the benefits of, when you have guys out, introducing more guys to the rotation, giving different guys opportunities to touch the outcomes of the games. It keeps guys primed up and engaged. I think that's been the case so far. And as we get a little healthier, that's a good thing for us.
You mentioned the lift that AC gave you kind of in the last game against the Spurs, and he also matched up with Giannis, I think, for a couple of minutes. Just how valuable is it, the fact that, a guy his size can also switch on to a guy like, or not Giannis, sorry, Wemby, and give him some problem?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why he's such an impactful defensive player is his versatility. He can match to much bigger players, which he's done over the course of his career, including Giannis and Wembanyama and Durant. And he can also switch on to anybody. So his versatility is a huge weapon. He's great on the ball. He's great off the ball. He's great on a lot of different matchups and gives you a lot of optionality when he's on the court.
You mentioned at the end of last season that when it came to starting the double big lineup, the opposing personnel maybe wasn't too relevant. He's just looking to get a bigger sample size. Now you guys are getting pretty close to being at full strength. Just plan to go back to that, or do you see some situations where maybe Cason gets in there on any given night? How do you see that playing out?
I mean, I'm definitely not going to commit to anything rotationally that's like hypothetical. So all I'll say is we've benefited from fluidity and keeping things open, and we'll continue to do that and do what we think is best for the team on a given night, and also building the right tools over the course of the season.
The Shea AJ minutes this season, what have you just kind of seen from that backcourt and how they complement each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think having another handler out there with Shea creates different opportunities, as we've seen in the past. We even with like Misic, we used him a little bit like that, and certainly with Dub. It allows us to move Shea off the ball. It allows us to make him a screener. It allows us to run stuff that initiates with different guys. And the benefit of AJ, as I've said many times, is, even if he's not creating, if somebody else creates on the play, he's got shooting gravity. He's a very good closeout player. He can also do the off-ball stuff. So he's also a great mover, underrated mover as a mover and cutter. So he's done a great job of creating a lot of versatility on offense when he's on the court.
So it kind of seems like a similar track for a lot of young guards where they maybe pop, able to get to the rim at will, defenses start to adjust, game plan. When some of that stuff is taken away, what are some keys for guards as they try to work through those next steps to be able to continue to get to their spots all the way to the rim?
Specific to AJ?
Oh, and he's an example of a guy that's gone through something similar to others, yeah.
Yeah, I just think, you come in the league and you try to have impact and do so efficiently. The guys that do that well, it creates a really good foundation. AJ is a good example of that. And then defenses are going to take note of that and adjust when a guy has that kind of impact. And then you just kind of play it from there. You see different things, you see different pictures. Utah was playing way off him and trying to go under. Other teams have tried to pressure him. And he just gets those data points, and you just go through your experiences and grow through them. And, Dub's been on that track. Shea's been on that track. That's how you get better, is you get tested like that. So AJ specifically has the type of approach and mindset that we're confident that no matter what comes his way, he'll learn from it and grow from it.